Here are the conventions of a Digipak. Number 1, there is an album cover with the name of the band and the name of the album on. Number 2, there is a back cover with the names of the songs on, the copyright information and the price code. Number 3, there is Digipak inserts. So this is song lyrics, thank you pages, pictures of the band and so on. For mine, I've used all of these, but then I've gone against conventions in some ways, as I've added in a tour page advertising the tour that the band have next year. I think this is a good idea because then at least the people buying the album, which will be their audience, know that the band are doing a tour next year, and that means that the band can get as much publicity for their tour as possible. Another way I've gone against conventions is that I haven't used an obvious theme. Normally there's a colour scheme, or there's the theme of the style of the Digipak. For instance, Radiohead did a Digipak that you made yourself. With mine, all the inserts inside my Digipak are based upon the name of the album. I thought this was a very good idea because it just shows. It had a variation of images with loads of different colours, and it just put to the audience the idea of isolation and the idea of being all alone. My first image is a picture of an eagle sat on a wilted tree. I think this shows isolation and being out of touch, but then the contrast with the colour sort of shows life and brightness. I also have the image that I took in the train station. This basically to connotate everything's passing you by, and no one really has time for anything anymore, and no one has time for the person taking the picture. I think it just signifies this whole thing of being in an exile. With this idea, there is a contrast with the touring page that I put in. I wanted to do this specifically because then the touring page can be seen as being something that's a part of the Digipak, but it's not fitting with the theme, so it's just stuck there, so it stands out more when the audience read it. The feedback I got was that they loved the images. They thought the images I'd chosen were edited beautifully, and they were, they were brilliant images, and therefore they worked with my piece. I went through a stage where I felt that my album cover was a little bit too bare, so what I did was I put pictures of the band on a photo reel on the front cover, and then I put it on the back cover. However, when it came to my audience feedback, they said that the images worked completely on the back cover, but on the front cover they just took away from the power of the photo. So I took those out, left them on the back cover, and it seems to work really well now. Now, when I started out using Photoshop on my images, I was completely new to it. I used it before, but only for basic things, and it was a big challenge for me to overcome this. I had to look in all the manuals, I had to, look online for tips on how to do things, but in the end I managed to pull it together, and these are the things that I did. I took the initial image of the girl in the field, running through the field, and I used the dodge tool to create the Castaways clouds in the sky. However, this wasn't very cloud-like, it just looked like I'd drawn some letters in the sky. So I also used the art history brush tool simultaneously with the dodge tool in order to get that cloud effect. It took me weeks to do it, but I managed to combine the colours and combine the sort of fluffy skyline in order to create something that resembled clouds. Then there was the problem of the title. I mean, I didn't know where to put it. I didn't really know how to get it on on the page. So I tried out a number of ideas. One of these ideas was that I had a plane in the sky, and coming out of the plane would be the title, and it did look pretty effective, but it's just that it didn't really link with the song, and it didn't link with the images inside the Digipak. It just painted a cheerful picture, which wasn't the picture I was going for. So I talked to my audience and they said, look, we just think you should keep it simple. We think it should just be block letters on the thing. So I put the block letters at the bottom of the page, and then after editing my magazine cover, I then decided to move them up to be just under the Castaway's name. Finally, I used brightness, contrast and saturation on all the other images, because yet again, when I took them, they were powerful, but I think power comes with the colour explosion that I've added in. Here are the images that they were initially. This is what they looked like at first, and then after adjusting the brightness, contrast and saturation, you can see that they've changed dramatically to some explosion of colour that sort of catches your eye and makes you want to look at it.
Down your makeup, down your makeup.